Hi, I'm Mr. Chris, and I do stuff. And this is my 9/11 story. Now, I just moved to New York. Not that long before 9/11. I moved up there from Florida, so I'm a local, I guess you'd call me a Florida man. So I went up to New York, and I ran the demo center for the third largest software company at the time. And so whenever we had to show off our products, my fellow SEs would come tap me on the shoulder, be like, hey, we need to set up a demo for this customer for this thing. And I had a demo on September 11th, and it happened to be this giant insurance company. And one of my fellow SEs, Guy, was like, hey, can you do this demo? And I'm like, absolutely. And they wanted to do it on site, and I'm like, all right, but I didn't really want to. I chickened out, and I got everyone from the large insurance company to come to our offices. And so we ended up being at 46th and Madison instead of in the towers. So I guess it's lucky that I chickened out and wanted to do the demo in my own environment. I mean, I didn't have some kind of vision or anything, just how things worked out. So we started the demo. It's September 11th. I get in there. I'm a little hungover, actually. The night before, we had actually taken out this same insurance company's Unix and Windows administration teams, so the server teams. We took them out to celebrate some achievements we had done, and we might have been out till 2 or 3 in the morning drinking and having a little bit of fun celebrating. So I did get there in time for my demo, and everything was great, so don't worry about that. But yeah, that plays in a second. So while this meeting's going, people start getting texts, and they're like, hey, my wife's texted me something about a Cessna hit our building, like, I'm going to go call her, and everyone starts getting texts and emails from coworkers, and so we stopped the meeting. We're like, all right, something's going on. It's kind of that moment when you're like, all the pagers go off, and you're like, oh shit, something's going down. It was that moment, right? Everyone's like into something. And I'm like, huh. So I go out, all the people from the insurance company leave, and I go over and I'm talking to my coworkers, and I'm like, hey guys, anyone know what's up? And they're like, no, something's going on. Like, let's go to the bar that's kind of attached to our building. It was a bar called Conley's. We jokingly always called it Conference Room C. And see if they're open so we can get on some TVs and see what's happening. This was before YouTube. This was before you could stream the TV and you could do all that kind of stuff, The internet was meh at best at that point. I mean, go back and look at some early 2000s websites. It was not what it is now. And our phones didn't have screens. I mean, we had a black and white LCD display. So we go to the bar. And we're in the bar and we're watching the TVs, and it's just freaking unreal. Like, I'm looking at the TV and I'm seeing it, and I'm in complete disbelief. And it's quiet. And all you can really hear is, I can't believe that. And so I walk outside. I go outside, I walk to the street. There's no traffic. Like, it's very bizarre. And I look down there, and you can see the smoke coming from the bottom of the island. And I go back inside, and I look at it, and I'm like, fuck. That's real. Like, that's happening. Like, I hope that those people that headed back downtown are safe. And we're standing there and we're watching this, and then we see the tower fall, the first one. And that's when shit hit the fan. That's when shit got real for us. And that's when we were like, oh, we've got to get off the island. This is escalating. So we grab our team together and we come up with a plan. We're going to walk across the bridge. The tunnels are closed, so I can't get home. I can't get back to Jersey. And we're going to walk across the Queensboro Bridge, I believe it was. One of our coworkers' family had a travel agency over there. So we're going to walk across the bridge, go to the travel agency, and then get friends and family to come pick us up and take us out to our homes. And I was going to stay with my buddy John because I couldn't get back to Jersey. And while we're going to walk across the bridge, the craziest thing's happening. People are just pulling up and opening their doors. And they're like, hey, I can take 2 or 3 or 4. People are just letting random strangers jump in their cars to help them get off the island. When shit got real, people dropped the bullshit. Sexism, racism, whatever isms, whatever phobias, none of that shit was real. Everyone was just like, you're human. We want to get the fuck out of here. Let's go. And that was amazing. That was pretty effing cool. Oh, So we get there. Excuse me. Finally, we get to the travel agency. I get to my buddy's house. I was stuck there for, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 nights. It wasn't too bad. And then, my phone just keeps going up. Like, back then we didn't have screens, like I said. We just had those black and white kind of phones. I think I had a Nokia or something. And it was like 10 voicemails, 20 voicemails, 30 voicemails. I couldn't call people. Now, finally, a couple days later at this point, I was able to actually start calling people and letting people know I was okay and giving people a status update. There was no checked in safe on Facebook because Facebook didn't exist yet. Now I realize there are people who can now drink that were not even born on 9/11. That's kind of why I'm making this video. Just hey, here's what it was like. Here's how real it got. Because I think we're starting to lose focus on that there can be bad things that happen. And we need to learn from them. So I finally get to leave John's house. He takes me onto the island. And then I think I took a ferry. I don't think they had the tunnels back open yet. I get home. I get showered and changed. I crank up my boss, Vito, and I'm like, hey, what's up? What can I do? Now, I work for the 3rd largest software company in the world that specializes in disaster recovery. We are the largest disaster recovery provider at this point. So I'm like, I know there's stuff I can do to help get people back up and functioning. So I ended up getting tagged to the large insurance company that we saved their storage team and most of their Windows and Unix teams, so they were super grateful about that. And I get sent to go help them get their data centers recovered, and I get sent to help a giant bank get their data center back up and running. And it was amazing. From a month or 2, I was just on site. I lived there. I didn't go home again. Like, they literally were like, what do you need? And I'm like, I'm a double fat, so I'm going to need some shirts and some extra large pants, deodorant, toothpaste, underwear. And so they literally were out shopping for us, all the IT guys, and we got full new wardrobes out of it. And they put us up in some really nice hotels. Again, kind of crazy because we didn't get to enjoy any of the hotels, right? We're working. Anytime your brain could function, you were in the labs, you were in the office, you were working, you were grinding. And then when you needed time out, you took a nap, you left, you came back. And I'm just so impressed at how much people can accomplish when they need to, when you want to. I mean, there's a weird quote that's kind of stuck in my brain. It's, you don't know how far you can push until you don't give up. And that's kind of a crazy quote to me, right? Like, I just don't fully understand it at first, but now that I've had a chance to think about it, it's true. I mean, you don't know how hard you can push yourself until you get to that moment and you achieve it and you didn't give up. Now you know that's a new limit to your abilities. And I definitely learned that I could push myself far harder and far longer than I thought I could. Now, that being said, I mean, it was probably the worst event, and I'm not going to say probably, it was the worst thing that has happened to America, in my opinion, since I've been alive. And it was amazing to see what happens when shit got real and everyone dropped the bullshit and everyone was just a human and everyone helped each other. And that's what we need to remember from 9/11, is that spirit of just focus on what's important. Now, we do have an election coming up. Not getting political here. Just saying, drop the bullshit. And remember, we need some security. So vote whichever way you think is going to make America the safest and the most successful country it can be. Now, with all that being said, if you did like or enjoy this story, 100% true, Mr. Chris does stuff, things that actually happened to me. Please like, share, subscribe, any of those things. Also, I have an Etsy store that'll pop up at the end. Thanks a lot for your time, and